hear him out. You know, a lot of like measuring each other. Like, where's this? I'm like, where's the money coming from? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I can tell I'm asking him too many questions, but he's like,
I don't fight over that stuff.
I can't. I can't with the media right now. I can't.
Do you ever get asked to go on like any of those main channels?
I will say this. When I did the book launch, I have a book.
Let's plug it. Let's give the name. We're going to have the link in description.
American Mercenary. Pick it up on Amazon and buy it. It's awesome.
Anything else in the works there?
Yeah, I got some other stuff going on.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Talking to a big studio, maybe doing an adaptation of the book to screen. So we'll see.
Let's go.
It's going well,
Okay.
so we'll see.
But you were saying you were talking about in your book with something with the media?
Yeah, so the marketing, marketing plan to get your book out there, and we can get you on these networks. I said, look, I don't want to even appear on network A or network B. Because if I appear on network B and someone turns on the TV, they're going to go, he's that all the way. If they turn on the TV in 1 second and they see I'm on network A, they go, he's that all the way. And I'm not any of those all the way. So yes. I said, just keep me away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the independent media is good for you.
Yeah, let's do independent.
It's a good style for you.
Yeah.
But you do have to go out there, like especially with books. That's a hard business. I have guys in here all the time pushing books. Like everyone's got a great story, but you got to put yourself out there and get people to want to learn more.
To a point, right? If I say that's not worth it to me, I'm not going to do it. Like, oh, you're going to lose it on book sales. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not going to sell my soul or put myself in a situation because I might get 50 more book sales or whatever it is. I don't care. I don't care enough to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've been kind of putting it off all day, but let's get to the second half of your career, if you will, here. So just for a timeline in my head, you were with Team 17 in Korea. Was that the last, like, deployment you did?
Yep.
And that's like 2014, something like that?
2014, 15, yeah.
Okay. So when you come home, is that when you go, I'm out? Or did that take another year or two?
I come home, I'm doing the... hustling, trying to see where pots of money are at SEAL Team 17 to keep going to more schools, right? I'm like, what about this, what about that one? I think I even jump on one of those container ships one more time just to go get some scratch, right? Make some money. And during this time, I get a phone call. It's like, hey, are you out? I go, yeah, I'm out. He's like, we're doing some pretty wild stuff, like some dynamic, cool shit. And I said, yeah, I don't believe. He's like, meet me for dinner. I said, okay. Went back into SEAL Team 17. I said, hey, am I going to be able to get into this particular school I wanted to go to? And they're going to get funding for it. They're like, oh, yeah, dude, you're a shoo-in. Cool. I put off dinner meeting with the other guy. And then the next day they came in. They're like, sorry, man. Someone from SEAL Team 18, they filled it, that billet. And I said, okay. So I called the guy. I said, all right, I'll meet you for dinner. Let's talk about this cool shit you have going on.
Who is this guy?
A guy I knew from the SEAL teams.
Okay.
Yeah. So I meet up with him, and he's like, hey, we're doing this, this, and this. It's fucking dynamic. It's crazy. And I go, I'm not buying it. I don't believe it. He's like, okay, I want you to meet the Prime.
The Prime?
The Prime. The guy who has the contract. Come meet him like tomorrow night up in Rancho Santa Fe, super rich area of San Diego. Okay. Show up, hear him out. A lot of like measuring each other. Like, where's this bullshit? I'm like, where's the money coming from? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I can tell I'm asking him too many questions, but he's like, listen, it's all legit. It's a real deal. Are you in? I said, if I'm in, when do we leave? He's like, next Friday. I said, I'll think about it. He's like, oh, and if you say yes, you're going to have 20 grand wired in your account by the time you get home. I was like, fuck.
Sign me the fuck up, boy.
Let's go. And then at 12:01, midnight plus 1, I get an alert, deposit made. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying. I could tell there's some stuff you can't really say there for sure. So if I delve into some things like that, just tell me. But like, what is who is this guy?
All right. So this guy is a dear friend of mine, ex-Israeli special forces, badass dude. And he put together a team. We fly into Yemen, and we're working by through and with the Emirati Special Forces, UAE.
As a mercenary.
As a mercenary, training them to be able to go do special forces type missions. And that's how it started, was us training with them. And we tried to do some practice runs that did not go well.
What do you mean?
Let's go out in town. Let's train for this mission out in town, not next to the bad guy's house, but near it. And the communications were wrong. Like, it just was a fucking train wreck. And I eventually got to the point where I said, fuck it, just let me roll out. I'll do it. I'll do it myself. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck it. Like, this is too easy.
Yeah.
He's right there. Let's go get him. It's like, no, you can't, because it has to be with them.
Right.
Okay, give me 2 and just have them stay with the car. Right? Like, no. So we spun up a couple times to go do some stuff, and like last minute, we get a call. Hey, hold off on that. We're like, what the fuck? And while this is going on in Yemen, I'm like, getting super frustrated, and I'm coming up with a game plan because the guys we're working with, they're not able to operate at the level I'd like to be able to go with, right? So I said, can we sell them like a 6-month pipeline? I'll run it. I'll run these guys. And so that went up the chain of command. And towards, it was the end, but one night we're all outside, then we start to hear snaps. Pop, 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 snap, snap, overhead. And I'm like, oh, and our base was like 1 mile by 1 mile. It was a square mile. HESCO barriers full of sand. And we hear the Colombians, there's a Colombian mercenary contractors on the guard tower, just fucking opening up. Like, bop, 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 bop. And then we hear boom. Like, I think 3 vehicle-borne explosives went off. Like, boom. And like, I was on top of the HESCO barrier, and I like flopped up. Boom. I was like, damn, that's close. And we can tell the explosions were getting closer and closer. They were getting through each checkpoint. And the way it was to get in the base, S turns and checkpoint. So there's like, car 1, boom, okay. And then car 2 would get to the second checkpoint. So they were working their way to the base. And if they got in, there was nowhere to fucking go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are these Houthi forces? Okay.
Yeah. So the Colombians up there, they have like 40 mics, machine. They're just unloading everything. Just fucking. We get up there, I'm like, hey, what are you guys shooting at? There's an empty field with a couple bodies, and then there's a giant boulder. They're like, dude, there's one guy behind the boulder. I'm like, that's it? It's fucking just like, are you trying to break the boulder with your guns? Like, what are you doing?
See.
Yeah, see. Then all of a sudden, I hear an Apache just come in overhead, and just dip down, just burp, and then take off. Well, that was that. And then shortly after, that was the end of that contract. So fast forward.
Real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just, for how I understand this, I've had like Dale Comstock in here, who's like the most recognized mercenary in the world, but it still confuses me what the legality is on some of this, like if there's gray area, because I mean, you're dropping into areas that would be considered somewhat war zones and whatever, but you're not representing a government, you're representing a private contractor, and you're fully fucking kitted up with weapons. So
that's where you can be gray and not gray. Okay. Say, I'm advising and assisting these people on this thing. Okay. Now, if I'm advising and assisting and then something bad happens while we're out and I pick up a rifle to defend myself, are you going to really prosecute me?
Oh, I see.
Like an intent versus... So it is gray, 100%.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a dance, for sure.
All right, but you were saying this one, that was the end of this
deployment. That was the end of it. And so they said yes to the 6-month training program. Boom. Fly over and start training the Emirati Special Forces. In the UAE, totally chill, range stuff, XYZ. One night, I'm not there, and the guys I'm with, they're like, dude, we saw some other guys here with like high-speed night vision, mismatching camis. And I'm like, that's weird. The next night, I see those guys. I go to the training site, and I'm like,
thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.